Hi guys, the new Conservative Party line, it seems, is to not look backwards but to look forwards, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. So disgraced, and I will continue to call her that, disgraced former Home Secretary and now member of the Shadow Cabinet, Priti Patel, was presented with evidence from both the MOD and the Treasury that her party cut defence spending by about £10 billion. The Tory first dismissed the figure and then have a listen to what she said.
Figures from the MOD and the Treasury show that to 2024, day-to-day spending on defence fell by nearly £10 billion across the 14 years your own party was in government.
Well, I don't accept that at all, because we've got a government basically now using smoke and mirrors and projected government funding and expenditure to effectively say that they're increasing defence spending. If they care enough about defence and they want to keep our country safe, they should be publishing those figures today on defence spending. We can't look backwards, we have to go forward. Things are changing dramatically in the world.
What is your major malfunction? Did you actually listen to the point that was raised here by the journalist? That your party cut defence spending over the 14 years you were in power by about £10 billion. And what is her response to that? Well, we need to look at the Labour Party. We need to look at the current government. They're engaging in smoke and mirrors tactics. No, she's talking about when you were in power. Not about the Labour Party, not about the Labour government, not about today, but when you were in power. What is your response to that? I don't accept those figures, and then talks about the Labour Party. Like, the figures are being presented by the MOD and the Treasury. Does Priti Patel not believe them? Obviously she does, but she can't respond to that. So I think what the plan is for the Conservatives going forward is hope that people forget. It's as simple as that. Hope that people have collective amnesia. So by the time 2028 or 2029 rolls around, whenever the next election is, people will vote us back into power. See, what happens is the Conservatives are elected, they destroy everything, they're kicked out, a number of years pass, people forget, and then they vote them back into power, and then they do exactly what they did before. And what did they do? They destroyed the economy, they imposed austerity, they imposed Brexit. All of these things damaging to both the economy and society. Now, are they going to apologise? Of course not. They never apologise. They will say, we got things wrong, but they'll never specify what they got wrong. They'll never say, we're sorry for what we did. They're hoping, honestly, I believe this is their plan. They're hoping that people forget. And unfortunately, many people will forget. And many people will vote them back into, or at least re-elect some of them. Now, when it comes to the current situation, there's a huge amount of rebuilding necessary. In some cases, literally. There have been stories about accommodation for soldiers and their families being dilapidated, falling apart, mouldy buildings, rat-infested in some cases. So this all has to be rebuilt. This all has to be reconstructed, refurbished. That's a huge amount of money. That's a cost for the taxpayer. It's a cost for the MOD. It's not just about hiring soldiers. That's also another issue. The size of the army went down under the Conservatives. So in order to bring those numbers back up to a reasonable level, it's going to take time. It's going to take money. You're going to have to recruit more people. You're going to have to incentivize people to join the army. That's going to take time, and it's going to take efforts. It's going to take money. But the Conservatives, are they going to support that? Of course not. They're just going to sit on the sidelines and say, you're doing it wrong. A bit like Farage. But to refuse to admit that you're part of the problem, that you created a lot of these issues, is a party who's in denial. But they're hoping that the public don't wake up and smell the coffee. That realize that these people should be nowhere near the levers of power. When they were in charge before, they cut public services, they imposed austerity, they sold us this Brexit, which is damaging to the economy and to society. And they just want to get back in to do it once again. You know, this disgraced former Home Secretary, who should be nowhere near the House of Commons, never mind the levers of power, unable to answer a question. Because she knows that if she does answer the question, she destroys the whole narrative of let's just forget. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.